Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm going to do something that is, I guess, new to the channel. Something I've been wanting to do for a while, but unfortunately time constraints have prevented me from doing so. And that's, I guess, sort of a build log to help sort of show the process that I go through when I'm doing a build and sort of configuring a water cooling loop and how I sort of make some of the decisions that I make. So considering I have this build going right now in the Fractal Design Define Mini C, and it's kind of on hiatus while I'm waiting for some parts, I figured I'd go ahead and do some filming. Considering I already have what I believe is the layout that I'm going to go with, that may change depending on how things go when I get some of the other parts in, but I believe it's going to work out just fine. The Define Mini C, it's actually really small, a lot smaller than I expected, but that's good. I like doing these small form factor builds. They are definitely challenging, but the end result is pretty rewarding. So just to kind of walk you through what I've got going on right now, as you can see, if it's not already obvious, this is a EK. It's a 200 millimeter reservoir. Well, I guess with the top and bottom on it, it's like a 240 or 250, whatever you want to call it. But after playing around quite a bit with some different configurations, I have a, this is a D5 with the bits power top. Down on the bottom, I already have the drain valve fitted off of the out port. I've done that with, I'll go ahead and rotate this around a little bit, but the I don't even know what the hell you call that fitting, but it's just like a multi-port sort of deal. But anyway, the way it's going to work is I'm going to go ahead and mount the reservoir horizontally here. I probably will build a custom shroud over this one with acrylic, potentially including some LED lighting. I'm not really sure yet, but technically you could just go ahead and mount that directly on here. I don't think that that would necessarily be an issue, just drilling into here. It's actually worked out to where I'll be able to remove one of the PCIe covers back here to be able to access the top of the res to fill it, which is always a huge issue when you're trying to fit a reservoir in a tight space. I believe it's going to work out just fine. I could have probably just counted on using this port here. The only problem there is when you mount a reservoir horizontally, filling it this way, I would never have really been able to get it completely full. That's not necessarily a problem, and sometimes I like that, but for this build I'm going to be using an Aurora fluid from Mayhem's, the blue Aurora with silver flake that floats around. So because of that, I want this to be completely full. I'll end up just tipping this case over. I do have another 120 rad that's going to be going here. I don't really think that's going to be an issue, but I'll be able to tip it over. Should be able to get it filled up completely to get a much better look on it. But this I will connect, and I have this piece of PETG in here right now just to kind of test fit this. But I'm going to be using acrylic tubing in this build because I want the best clarity I can get, aside from using glass. And I might do that in the future, but for now I'm just going to use acrylic. But since I'm using Aurora, I want like a crystal clear tubing. So anyway, I'm going to put a short piece here. The res obviously will directly feed the pump. Then it's going to come back up into this guy here. I'm going to be able to come over, down into the CPU, back up and over into the res, back over into the graphics card. This will be a full loop, so the graphics card is going to be water cooled. And then I can come back down, and I've already got a couple angle fittings in here to be able to come back in and feed the loop here. So I've already test fitted. I have the the block and everything's going to fit just fine. Nothing is going to be mounted up top. So I'm going to have 240 and then a 120 for exhaust. There's going to be, obviously, the pump is where the hard drives would normally go. So there's 0 hard drives in this build, SSD only. And then, yeah, I believe everything's going to work out just fine. As always, I'll have custom cabling, custom cable lengths and everything. So there's definitely not a whole lot of room. Sorry about the noise there. There's not a whole lot of room for cable management, although I will say for such a small case, Fractal has done an excellent job, especially with the little bump out here to be able to route thicker cables. I'll cut down a lot of this stuff and re-sleeve it, so I don't have excess cable length in places I don't need it. But realistically, with a clean build, I think there's going to be plenty of space in here, and I think it's going to work out really well. Ignore that. That's a different build. You guys will see that coming up here pretty soon, but this is a set of cables I did the other night for one of my other builds that hopefully I'll be able to show you guys in about a week. We'll see. But anyway, if you guys have any questions, maybe about this case particularly, or just when it comes to setting up your loop, feel free to let me know, leave a comment. We'll call this part 1 of this build. I don't even know what I'm going to call this one yet. I don't know, maybe I won't even have a name for it, but regardless, I'm pretty excited about it. I love these smaller builds. It's always a fun challenge to try to figure out how you're going to fit everything in, especially, you know, going with a pretty good size reservoir in here, a full-size D5 pump with a pump top and a couple radiators. So we're not skimping on water cooling parts. You know, for such a small case, I think it's going to work out really well. So again, guys, feel free to ask if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.